Hello. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Do a little sound to start. Singing bowl. Hi. Okay, so today is going to be a nice full video for all of you here on YouTube, and there will be some continuing information on Patreon. So the link will be below for my Patreon. Please like, subscribe, and share, and thank you for being here. Okay, so today is Saturday. Now, I really wanted to get into this because it's going to be this also will relate to some of the classes I'll be sharing on Patreon, but this is kind of a class today because what we will be talking about is a little bit of the 9-day moon calendar and how it relates to some of the hidden magic that's going on around the world. And I'm going to break down some of the stuff for you today. So today is also March 4th. So we'll start with the numerology because, as you know, everything is vibration. Numbers carry vibration. Sound carries vibration. All has vibration. If you've watched some of my older videos, I talk about what are numbers doing when we look at them. Do we know what's actually happening? And same with words. They're all symbols. They all carry a certain vibration. So today is March 4th. So it is a 5-day. How do we get to that? Just in case you don't know. So you take the month, which is 3, the date, which is 4. Does that equal 7? And then you take 2, 2, and 3, which is 2023, right? And you add that together. And you end up with 7. So you add 7 and 7 together and you get 14, and you break that down, 1 plus 4, and you get 5. So it is a 5-day. Energy-wise, numerologically, if you're going off of just that simple cipher. So, with the 5 energy, it relates to the body and to star beings, because the star is drawn with the 5 points, okay? Star beings and the human body. And you'll see in some anatomy pictures, you'll see like the standing man, 5 points, okay? Now, on the 9-day calendar, today is also Saturn's day, but it is the 6th day in the 9-day calendar. So, we have some interesting things with this numerology. So, if you go by the Gregorian calendar, it's the 7th day of the week. Okay? So we have 7 with March, 7 with March 4th, and we have 7 again with 2023. And then you have 7 again with the 7th day of the week. So you actually have a triple 7 energy, which breaks down to 3. And also, it's Saturday, or Saturn's day. So it is also Saturn's day on the 7-day calendar. So we are having a high potency meeting of energy with Saturn. So what's interesting is there is a hidden 3 element in the day by the Gregorian calendar, if you also include the 7 days of the week, okay? And yeah, that becomes a triple energy number. So 3 times 7 comes back down to 3, and there are 3 7s. So in the esoteric, maybe not so good energy, what you might see today are some angles or an emphasis on certain angles, certain energies to get the masses possibly to follow or believe. Now, The kind of like good side of it is you have very strong Saturn energy, meaning you have an authoritative energy as far as like what you have learned, especially in your shadow work, to start putting to work. Okay, can I go into that? Because Saturn is about taking accountability, responsibility, and boundaries. So when it comes to healing the mother wound, I really like the Saturn energy because to me, that's actually what Saturn's energy is the great mothers. The great mother when she is teaching. And so when we're using it for ourselves, we can use this energy to promote success, promote money, to promote transformational changes that you've been working towards. Okay. And it's interesting that Saturn has been placed on the Gregorian calendar as the 7th planet, but it is the 6th farthest from us, which I also find interesting because Venus is the 3rd. Well, it's the 2nd, but if you go Earth, Mercury, Venus would be 3, and then to Saturn would be 6, and then Pluto 9. I think I just unlocked something just right now. I got chills all over. I think there's something to that. And I think that's why Saturn has been made a 7-day. Because if you can harness energies without people's knowings, like we talk about this when we talk about football games, and we talk about churches, like they're harnessing energy in a way that we think we're giving it to something, but actually we are giving it to something, but not the something we think we are. Like we're not giving it to the football players. We're giving it to the football stadium owners, and there's a ritual behind it, basically. Okay. I feel like I got off track a little tiny bit. Okay. So speaking of that, I didn't, but I did a little bit. So speaking of that, tomorrow is Sunday on the 7-day calendar, Gregorian calendar. And typically on Sundays around the world, I left my duster on the table. Around the world, there's mass worship going on. Well, according to the energies of Uranus, and Uranus actually falls on the 7th day of the 9-day calendar, Uranus is to be a day of rest. So isn't that interesting? It is the 7th planet, and it does energize resting on that day, not practicing ritual. What you do is you get ready, like you might hold in your mind what you want to do for your ritual, starting the 8th day, leading toward the 9th day, and leading towards the new moon or the full moon, which we are also coming to. Tomorrow is the first day of the 3-day full moon. So I think there's side magic in that. It's another form of hidden magic that, unless we're sharing this kind of information, like including the 9-day calendar, including the moon's cycle along with the sun's cycle, since that's where our cultures and societies have been based around. But it has been shown that there are underlying magics and rituals happening. Like, this has been happening for a long time. Okay. So, yeah, not to do holy rituals on Uranus Day. And then, what did I just say about? I said the 3, 6, and 9 about Saturn. Like, I got chills again just saying that part. I'm going to look that up. Because that's also something, I mean, we know the power numbers, 3, 6, 9. So isn't it possible that 7 is part of the angle because it is an angle? There's a few things that I've changed because of my downloaded messages. I'm going to share some of them with you guys because I theorized that the angle was to turn Great Mother into a patriarchal god, and you use the number 7 with that, and then you tell people they have 7 chakras, and you align all these things, this 7 days of the week, align all these things with 7, and then we relate 7 to heaven, 7th heaven, when, again, I'm going to say the power number is 9. Power number is 9. 7 doesn't affect other numbers like 9 does. So, but what it can do is create a symbolic angle just by the shape of it. So we talk about symbols and vibrations. So that's my theory about 7. And that's why I started doing the 9-day calendar, because I think everything goes back to 9. And I even brought my chakra. So I'll start a little bit here, but the rest of it will be on Patreon. So I have shared on here that we have a chakra here. Okay. So I kind of went to great lengths to try to figure out what that would look like, because here is our basic body structure. Oh, let me see. Let's use this one because it's the same, goes in the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Well, I like both of these. I'm gonna show you guys both of them. Okay. So these are how the chakra systems work in our bodies. Make sure you guys can see those clearly. Okay. So this one's a little bit different than this one. So on this one, you can see where this one includes kind of the ground energy in your chakra 1. And then they call these chakras 2A and 2B, 3A and 3B, because you have chakras in the front and chakras in the back. Now, I think there's a chakra right here, which is basically where your belly button is. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then right here, I theorize there's a chakra, and I was trying to figure out how it would go. I think it goes like this, because this is our manifesting energy, and even in one of these other pictures that I'll show you, it's a silver cord to the soul in that same area. You can see up there by the top of the head. Okay, so right here, and it's also called the manifestation energy. It's right behind your head. So when it comes to our mouth and our heart, which is when we're speaking, it comes out of our mouth. So I theorize that there is 2 chakras, one right here with the nose and one right here with the mouth, but they meet in the back. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, just one more. So one right here and then one right here. Okay, just 2 more would be 9. And I think our belly button, it's got to be 1, right? Why would we have a cord? I don't know. This is what I theorize, and I think that this is how they teach us. Because okay, so in the other one that I showed you, so these are the secondary chakra system. This is what is used in acupuncture and acupressure. These are where a lot of the meridians start and or end. Okay, and you'll see on some of this it talks about like the upper brain, the cranium, the throat, the wrists, the bubbling spring of the feet, the bubbling springs of the palms. So this is where we're talking about energy understanding it, being able to have it flow in and out of our bodies and these different ways that we are not explicitly taught, and we're given like numbers and symbols to go with them. So I go into more detail about these aspects of the chakra and healing and even shadow work on my Patreon. I wanted to show you one more picture. Of course, my cat is like, what are you talking about? I want to be all involved. Okay, I guess maybe I didn't bring it in here. Can you move, please? I didn't bring it in here. Okay, well then it's just going to be on page. Oh no, I did. I lied. Okay, so goes into the 32 chakras in the spine. Okay, and then with this chart, it's so interesting because 1 and 10 are both down here. So the swirl that happens, and I go into detail about that. And here are some of the symbols that go along with those spots in our spine. Okay, and these can relate to working through our shadow emotional bodies, healing energies, because to get back to 10, you got 11. Okay, and 11 is transmutation. So each vertebrae relates to an energy center that relates to our neurological thinking center, which then goes back all throughout the body, and we can hold and or heal or thrive in certain areas of our spine based on meditation, working through stuff, how we're eating, different kinds of things. So 11 is transmutation. So I'm going to do the first 10, 11 here. I'm going to share more than that here. And then we'll go into more detail on the Patreon. Okay. So 1 is awareness. 2 is feeling. And so 1 is actually our coccyx bone. And 10 is also our coccyx bone, because there's actually like 2 little tiny bones there. Your tailbone, quote unquote, your tailbone. Okay. So 1 is awareness, 2 is feeling, 3 is discrimination, 4 is love, 5 is expression, 6 is vision, 7 is divinity, 8 is time, and 9 is soul. Okay, so then 10 comes back down to that same bone, groundedness. So groundedness and awareness are right next to each other, but yet there is still a hierarchical procession that happens even within your spine before it goes back down to groundedness, and then it swirls back up again to above your lumbar region, right? Is that right? I don't want to be so... No. Thoracic. Anyways, the base of your spine. And up to the next set of spinal column bones. Let's see. Lumbar is the middle. The very bottom is, I think it's thoracic. I could be pronouncing that wrong. Okay. I have my book right here. Anyways. It swirls up to the next part, which is your lumbar, and that is transmutation, and then connection. And then yin, yang, 15 is polarities, 16 is similarities, harmony. And so this one goes into all the way up to 33, 32, which is grace. And then after 32 is the principle of 33, which is supposed to be all-knowing, and this is where you see this number relating to like the Freemasons and many other esoteric philosophies. Okay, so the big link is how we can relate Saturn, these numbers, and our own physical shadow work healing, okay, through meditation and the knowing of these certain points in our spines, all the way up to here. And that's where we get to the crown of knowing, so to speak. Okay. All right. That everything today? Yes, that's everything today. So I'm actually going to continue this video right now to be shared on my Patreon, talking about the goddess working on the mother wound, where the energy is right now, and also do a Stones Speaks reading where we pull some crystals rather than tarot cards to give some advice as to the energies of today. And that also represents the energies and the connections linking to the Sibyls, the prophetesses, and the ancient goddesses, and to the Great Mother and the healing that is happening today, and with the collective and with many of us personally. Okay. Oh, a little bit of music before I go. A little sound. And kitty cat. So already I hear a little bit of Basset energy, mother energy. And the irony is Basset hounds. Okay, off the screen, please. Yeah, we like the sound. It's relaxing. See you next time, or see you soon on Patreon.